Yeah, and I agree with all that. But I'm just saying, you have a song for all the single ladies, but you don't have a song for all the single guys. And you should. Because I promised myself I wasn't going to cry. There are still single guys out there. And they need a song to unite them like all the single ladies have. So, Beyonce, I'm just saying, you can do this. I have faith in you. Please get. I gotta go. I'm sorry. Bye. Oh, that's embarrassing. Hi, how are you? It's your math teacher. We are today going over your chapter three your chapter three test, which you took probably yesterday, and you're watching this video because you missed at least one. So I'm gonna go over every single question. You do not have to watch the whole video. However, I suggest you fast forward to the questions you missed and see if any of the things that I say can and will be used against you in the court of law. That's not right. Anything I say, see if it can actually help you get it right the second time. So let me present, and then we'll get started, okay? All the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, put your hands up. You guys know that song, right? You might be young enough, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's okay. Here, and here we go. This is your test from yesterday. So if you missed number 1, 2, or 3, let me see what I'm doing with this. I'm going to go with blue, 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 yes. What number is, well, here's the thing, class. These are the two numbers you have to choose from. So if you pick the wrong number for number 1, it's the other number. Number 2. Now, if you don't know what the number at the 5 is called, then you're going to need to go, I'll say this. If you missed number 2, and I don't think anybody missed it, but if you did, your hint is to read this question, and the answer is basically in that question, okay? Number 3, 2 to the 5th power. Now, I can see some people doing this and getting 10. I can see that mistake being made, and obviously that's wrong. So remember, here's your hint for number 3. I'm going to give you a hint, and it has nothing to do with this. But what if this was the question? So here's your hint. What if it was 3 to the 4th? What is 3 to the 4th? Well, that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 times 9 equals 81. So 3 to the 4th equals 81, okay? But we're not doing 3 to the 4th. We're doing 2 to the 5th. But what I just did for 3 to the 4th, do the same thing for 2 to the 5th. I think you'll figure it out. Make sure you be careful with the multiplication, though. Number 4, 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 in exponential form. Based on the one I just did, it's the same thing but backwards. So I think you should have no problem with number 4. Number 5, they do not all equal 0. They all equal something else. If you have your book, or you tore out the page, or you have the sheet that I gave you, page 168 on the top left. So if this is page 168, right here, near the middle on the left side, it talks about everything to the 0 power always equaling a specific number. What do they all equal? That's the answer. Page 168 in your book. We went over that like a couple of times also this week. Greatest common factor. How do we find the greatest common factor between two numbers? Here are the steps. I'm going to tell you the steps. Step 1, take the smaller number. Step 2, write down all the factors of that smaller number. And then step 3 is you're going to start with the biggest factor and ask yourself, does 12 times something equal 16? If it doesn't, take the next biggest. Does 6 times something equals 16? And you're going to keep going until you see one of these will be a factor of 16. Actually, there's more than one factor, but it's the biggest. That's why we start from the biggest and we go backwards, because we're only going to take the one, and it's always going to be the biggest. So we start on this side, right over here, and we go in this direction. Because once we hit a number, we're done. That's the answer, and that's how you do it. Now, LCM, a lot of you put this. That is the greatest common factor. But LCM is different. We're talking about least common multiple. So to do number 7, what you need to do is you need to write all the multiples. Write the first 5 multiples of 6 and 8. I'll do 6 for you. Actually, I'll do 8 because it's a little bit bigger. 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, 8 times 5. Do the same thing for 6. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4, 6 times 5. And then, after you finish, what you need to do next is compare and see if you see the same number, and it's the smallest common multiple that you see. That's the least common multiple, okay? That's how you do it. If that was weird, listen to me say it again. And that was an assignment. I forgot what assignment it was. Number 8. Here's what I'm going to tell you for this. What am I going to tell you for this? A couple of things. Thing number 1, do the exponent first. Thing number 2, that is 2 times 2 times 2. That does not equal 6. It equals something else. So do not put 2 times 2 times 2 equals 6. It's something else. Thing number 3, whatever you get here, that's going to be your new number. Bring everything else down. What am I doing? You're going to get a number there. You're going to have 70.5 minus that divided by 4. And what you need to do next, after you get that number, is you are going to divide first. That number right here divided by 4. And whatever that is, then the last step, you're going to take 70.5 minus your answer. But class, if your answer, when you divide by 4, if that's a whole number, you better make sure you make it a decimal before you subtract. And then subtract, and that's your answer, okay? Number 9. Ooh. Hold on one second, I got a phone call. Hello? You're writing the song right now? For all the single men? Okay, good. Yeah, just email it to me, and I'll go over the lyrics, and I'll see if they're appropriate, okay? Okay, thanks, bye. See you, Beyonce. All right, now, number 9. I wish you would stop calling me all the time. It's so annoying. You're going to do this first, and I will tell you what that is. 3 to the first equals 3, okay? So this is just 3. Then you're going to take 4.5 times 3. You're going to get a number. Then you're going to take 20 minus that number. But that number is going to be a decimal. So make sure you convert 20 point something into 20.0 so that you line up the decimals before you subtract. And then add, and then you're done. Pew, pew, pew. If that was too fast, then go listen to me say that again, okay? Number 10. Okay, so a lot of you missed this because I don't think you understood what was going on. So the substitution is only for these 2 questions. I'm gonna do a completely different problem. I'm gonna put a star, and I'm gonna do a different problem. And how I do this is how I want you to do number 10, okay? I'm gonna put 3z minus y. Now watch what I do. How I solve this is how I want you to do number 10. So 3z minus y. Let me substitute first. It says use the next two questions, use these values and substitute. So z equals 3, y equals 5. So let me take this z and this y. Z equals 3, y equals 5. Now, what I'm going to do next, what do I do next? What does it mean when you have two things side by side? You have a 3 here, and you have a 3 here. What does it mean that they're side by side? Does that mean 3 plus 3? 3 times 3? 3 minus 3? 3 divided by 3? We've talked about it many times. It means multiplication. So side by side means multiplied. So I'm going to take 3 times 3 to get 9. I just bring this down. 9 minus 5 is 4. How I solve that, you're going to add, but you basically do the same thing. Substitute, multiply, then add, and then you're done, okay? Number 11 is a little bit trickier. So let me get that set up for you. This is what it's going to look like. Z is 3. X equals 2. So first, let's make this a fraction. Now, how do we divide a fraction by a fraction? We keep, we change, and we flip. And if you do not know what that means, I'm sorry. We've gone over that so many times that you're on your own for that one. You're just going to miss it, and that's okay. So you're going to keep, change, flip. You're going to divide, keep, change, flip. The answer you get, you're going to add 3 squared. And you got to ask yourself, does 3 squared mean this, or does it mean this? 3 times 3 or 3 times 2? And you should know which one it means by now, okay? And if you don't, then watch me do 1, 2, and 3 again on the other side of the page. So you're going to do one of these, then you're going to do the fraction, you're going to add up the number, it's going to be A, B, C, or D. Pew, 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 pew. Distribute. Listen to what I'm saying. Step 1, draw 2 arrows. Step 2, multiply twice. Step 3, bring the plus or the minus down. And I'm talking about this thing right here. And that's it. You can't go any further than that. And then you're going to write that expression right here. Number 13, simplify. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be, I'm going to give the answer away if I do it. So I'm going to do a different one. I'm going to do 5g minus 2 plus 6g. I like your cut, G. Now, we're going to take 5g plus 6g. You can add those because they have the same variable. 5 plus 6 is 11, so that's 11g. I can't do anything with a minus 2, so I'm just going to put that at the end, and that's it. That's my answer. That's how you do number 13. Now, number 13, this is not the answer for number 13. But what I did to get this answer is exactly what you're going to do to number 13. You're going to combine like terms and write that expression down right here. Number 14, you do the same thing. The only hint I'm going to tell you is this. Actually, I'm going to give you 2 hints. First, these are the like terms. You're going to add those. Let me do that a little bit better. 3.4x plus 5.1x. You're going to add those. That's going to give you something. Thing number 2. Or this is also the same. You're going to add 8, but you're subtracting 1. If you add 8 and you subtract 1, are you adding 7 or subtracting 7? It's going to be either something x plus 7 or something. I need to show you guys that differently. So when you do this, you're going to get something x plus 7 or something x minus 7. It's going to be one or the other. That something right here is going to be what you get when you combine these two. Now, some of you missed it, and you got exactly the right answer. You got something plus or minus something, but you forgot that when you add these two, do not forget the variable. And you forgot to put the x in your answer. So if that's you, make sure you put the x in your answer and just keep everything else the same. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. Number 15, 4 more than, I'll say this, the product of 3 times the number of tickets, that's going to be multiplied together. Now, it's not necessarily in parentheses, but you're going to take 3 times t, and whatever you get, you're going to add 4 to that. So which one of those has 3 times t, and then you're adding 4? Now, that doesn't mean the 4 comes at the end. It could come at the beginning. It doesn't change the value. So which one is that? Number 16? If you don't know 16, I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. Okay? And then I'm not going to help you with the bonus. All right. Hope that was helpful. Email me your answers if you're at home. Once you fix your mistakes, just the ones you've missed, give me your new answers. The people who are in the classroom, just fix your mistakes on your paper and bring me the new test with the new answers. And thank you. And I'm done for today. It's time to go home.